Dear students, welcome to this video lecture on module number 1's one more chapter, that is unit commitment. Okay, so here we will be discussing the various aspects regarding one of the important problem faced by any power system in its planning and proper operation. So let us see first what is meant by unit commitment. So suppose in our power system which is these days very much complicated. Okay, so we will be having literally n number of generators connected together. Then we will be having complicated mesh of transmission lines, and we will be having n number of loads which will be fed through this power system. So now suppose that there are n generating units in a plant. Now how we decide which are the units that we have to turn on to meet the demand at that point? This problem is called as a unit commitment problem. So now you may say that depending upon the load requirement, any generators we can put it on, or all the generators we can put on, but that is not a wise decision. If the requirement, if the generation taking place at any instant is more than the requirement, then it is simply wastage of the generated power, as we cannot store the generated power. So as much is required by the load, only that much must be generated at any instant of time. That too, whatever generators we are choosing, okay, in order to generate that required power, they must be generating it at the lowest possible cost. So among the n available generators, now which generators we have to put on to fulfill the present load requirement? It is one of the complicated problem. Okay, and that problem we are going to deal in the unit commitment. Now, what are the constraints for this UC problem? Okay, so constraints are nothing but what are those conditions upon which this unit commitment problem depends. So already in our earlier discussions, we have discussed these constraints in the UC problem in detail. Okay, so we have listed the constraints in UC here. Those are spinning reserve. Okay, so spinning reserve is nothing but that additional generating capacity, okay, which a generating plant will be having all the time, okay, which is greater than the present load requirement plus losses. Okay, so this much of extra power must be generated by generator in order to meet any unexpected sudden load variation. Then there are the thermal constraints. Okay, so majority of the generators in our power plant are of thermal type. Okay, and for thermal, okay, we will be having various constraints like crew constraint. Okay, so in order to run a thermal power plant, okay, many people are required. So that is called as a crew. Okay, so okay, we and in a thermal generating plant, we have a various stages also. Okay, so whenever required, okay, immediately we cannot expect the generation from thermal power plant. Okay, so well in advance we must commit this thermal power plant to meet the present load requirement. Okay, so how we are starting the generator? Okay, so depending upon that there are some variations in the thermal power plant, like whether we are starting our generator on cooling or banking. Okay, so depending upon that the cost of generation also varies. Okay, so cost of generation and the crew constraint are the main constraints in the thermal power plant. Then here the startup cost of thermal power plant, which I just now discussed. Then network constraint. Okay, so in a network, okay, what our power system is a complicated network these days. Okay, so if in that network, if one of the largest generating capacity generator, okay, gets turned off or it has a fault, okay, so in that case, okay, how can we balance our power system, okay, without that largest generating capacity generator? Okay, so such problems we face in network constraint. Then emission constraints. Okay, so related to the environmental consciousness. Okay, so we will be having some of our power plants which emit the poisonous gases. So in order to think about them, okay, so we will be having this emission constraints. Now further let us see why we are dealing with this problem, or why this UC problem is so critical. Okay, so for that purpose, suppose we have n generating units. So in n generating units, how many possibilities are there to put the generator on at any instant of time? That is shown here with the help of this equation. So this is a mathematical equation, okay, or combinational equation. Okay, so C is a combination of n generators in which the first generator is on. So this is one possibility. Okay, but in our power system we have total n generators. So second possibility of the putting the generators on is, among the n generators, if 2 generators are put on, 3 generators are put on, like that, so on up to n minus 1 generators are put on, or n generators are put on. So like this, if we see, if there are n generators in our power plant, 2n minus 1 different combinations of the generators we will be having, and among those combinations we have to choose some combinations which are suitable for our present load requirement, and they are generating the power at lowest possible cost. Okay, so such a complicated problem is this unit commitment. So now we have shown here where C of n minus n comma j is the combination of n items taken j at a time. That is, we get it as n factorial divided by n minus j factorial into j factorial. Okay, so number of combinations we get here are too many. Okay, so just for example, okay, here n indicates the number of generator in our power system. So suppose we have n generators and that n is equal to 5, then this 2 raised to n minus 1 becomes 2 raised to n minus 1, and for the period of 24 hours, okay, or 1 day if we consider, then we get 6.2 into 10 to the power 35 different combinations if we have only 5 generators in our power system. So you can see such a huge number of combinations we will be having, among which the appropriate combination we have to choose. So isn't it a difficult task? So similarly you can see, as the number of generator goes on increasing, okay, the number of combinations we need to deal also go on increasing. Okay, so in order to solve such a problem, we need to take the help of computer. Okay, and we should have various techniques for solving this unit commitment problem. Okay, so what are those methods by which we can solve the unit commitment problem? Okay, so here we have listed 3 methods of solving this unit commitment problem. First one is the priority list scheme. Second one is dynamic programming, and third one is Lagrange relations. Among these, the first 2 are there for your study, priority list and dynamic programming. So let us see them. So about the priority list method, here we will be discussing this method taking an example. Suppose in our power system we have 3 generators, generator 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so here to generator we are calling as unit. Then the full load average production cost in terms of rupees per megawatt hour for each of this plant is calculated here. Okay, so now what is this full load average production cost is? Here suppose for unit number 1, its maximum generation is 10 megawatt. So we will be having the cost function for unit number 1. In that cost function, the value of Pg we are going to substitute as the maximum generation, and with that whatever cost we get, that we call as a full load average production cost. So like this, the average production cost for all the 3 generators are calculated here. Now we can see the variation, difference in the average production cost. So it varies from one generator to other generator. What we can observe here is the second generator is the most cheapest one. Okay, then the first generator is having the next low production cost, and as we can see, the third generator's cost of generation is more as compared to the remaining 2. Now what we will do here is, taking this strict priority order for these units is done based on the average production cost. Okay, and now the order will be like this. Okay, so for unit 1, its minimum maximum generations are mentioned for all the 3 units, and the average production cost, in the increasing order of average production cost we have listed their priority. Okay, means always unit number 2 will be given highest priority. Okay, the second priority will be given to unit 1 and third priority will be given to unit number 3 as it is more costly. Okay, so like this we will decide the priority order, and whenever there is some increase in the demand, okay, always we will give the priority to unit number 1 because it is supplying the power at the lowest cost. Okay, so we will go on putting the load on unit number 2 unless its maximum generation is reached. Once its maximum generation is reached, then we will opt generator number 1 because it is having the second priority. Okay, and we will go on loading the second generator number 1 unless, okay, its maximum generating capacity is reached. Once the maximum generating capacity of generator number 1 is also reached, then only we will put on generator number 3. Okay, so like this we will select the generators here. So the commitment scheme would be simply use only the following combinations. So how we will combine them? Whenever the load is whenever the maximum load requirement is 1200 megawatt and the minimum load requirement is 300 megawatt, in that case we require all the three generators are required. So 2 plus 1 plus 3, all the 3 are required here. Now suppose the maximum megawatt required by the load falls to 1000. Okay, so in that case we can put generator number 3 off, okay, which is generating at very high cost. So we will first put that off, and only 2 and 1 are kept on and they are satisfying the present load requirement. Then suppose further the load requirement falls to 400. In that case we will put this generator number 1 also off, and only generator number 2 can satisfy the present load requirement. So like this, okay, this is a simple shutdown rule we are following in order to make our system more reliable, okay, and to generate the required power at lowest possible cost. So this is how we are going to solve the unit commitment problem using this priority list method. Okay, so now next important method or commonly used method is a dynamic programming solution method. Okay, so now for dynamic programming solution method, okay, we are going to use one technique here, the recursive algorithm to compute the minimum cost in our K with combinations I is given as F cost K comma I is equal to. So here we have written a recursive relation. Okay, for what? For finding out F cost. F cost is nothing but the cost of generation using a thermal power plant. Okay, so for K hours and for I combinations we are finding out it. Okay, so it will be equal to minimum of, okay, minimum of the matrix L. Okay, and that minimum how we are finding out? Here we have a equation. Okay, so what all terms we have? What here we will get the various terms, and among this whichever is minimum cost, that particular combination we will choose. So the equation goes like this: P cost of K comma I, K plus S cost of K minus 1 comma L as to K comma I plus F cost K minus 1 comma L. Okay, so now what are these terms here in the equation? We can see that F cost K comma I, this one. So F cost K comma I is nothing but the least total cost to arrive at a state K comma I, that we are representing as F cost K comma I. Then what is P cost K comma I? It is nothing but production cost for a state K comma I. Okay, then S cost K minus 1 comma L as to K comma I. this is nothing but transition cost from the state k minus 1 comma L to the state k comma I. So using this equation we are going to find out which is the minimum cost of generation for the present load requirement. Okay, and using this recursive algorithm very easily it can be computed. Okay, so now let us see the flow chart for this dynamic programming method. Okay, so why flow chart is, we are going to make use of computers in order to solve our unit commitment problem. So to the computers we are going to give the instructions in this particular order. Okay, so that we are indicating in this flow chart. Okay, so how we are giving the flow chart here. First instruction will be start. Then we are initializing the count k here. K's value is taken as 1, where k are nothing but the number of hours in the total time period. Then whatever equation just now we discussed, the same equation is written over here, and using this equation, okay, we will be getting a combination of generators at which the cost of generation is minimum. Okay, so we will find out this unless x is equal to, okay, or do for all the states I in a period k. Okay, so in the period k, for all the states I, we will be doing this. Okay, and we will find out that, okay, for every state, okay, what is the minimum, what is that combination at which we can get the unit commitment problem solved. Okay, so like that we will just have a list over here. Okay, then further we are incrementing the count for k as k plus 1. So for next hour, once again we are becoming ready. So here the matrix L is equal to n feasible states in the interval k minus 1. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are preparing a matrix. Okay, so here we have seen there will be various combinations we will have, and all of them we are just storing as a matrix L. So this is the matrix L in which we have n feasible states in the interval k minus 1. Then further what we will do, f cos k comma I is equal to minimum of L p cost k comma I plus s cost k minus 1 comma L as to k comma I plus f cost k minus 1 comma L. Okay, so for this we will find out the various combinations and do for all the x states I in period k. Okay, so this also we are going to do for all the states in a period k. Okay, so unless that we will be in this loop only. Once we have done for all the states, then save n lowest cost strategies. We are going to save them. Okay, then whether k is equal to m, that means whether it is the last hour of scheduling. Suppose we are going to solve this, or we are just doing the scheduling for one day. So in that total 24 hours are there. So whether we have reached to that 24th hour, that we are checking. If no, then we will just repeat the same thing unless we are done with all the values of k equal to 24. So if we are done with all the hours in a considered period of time, then trace the optimal schedule. Okay, so we will be ready with the optimal schedule for every hour in that total span of time. So like this, using the computer, okay, we can give the optimal solution for this unit commitment problem. Okay, so dynamic programming method is most commonly used method as it is advantageous for a long period of time, or if many number of generators are there, even then it can give the solutions very quickly. Okay, so these two methods are there for your study, the priority list method and second one is this dynamic programming method. Okay, so this is all about the unit commitment.